Super Anthony. Alright guys, it's Super Anthony characters here. Today, this would be day 11 of me being interviewed by my imaginary friend Cesar. Alright. So Anthony, how's your day in school today? It wasn't bad. It was good. Alright, so tell me, how did it go? Tell me about your day. Alright, so I had a good day in social studies, and I didn't need any reminders at all. I did everything I was supposed to do without any reminders. I was a serious student so in social studies, I was a serious student. I was respectful. I made good choices. I completed my work. I followed directions, and I didn't even need any reminders at all. I did everything what I was supposed to do without any reminders. Plus, actually, for the rest of STEM class, I had to go do a speech activity, learning comprehension. I think I had to do some makeup work. It might have been called makeup work, but it might have not been makeup work. She said it wasn't makeup work. That's what my speech language pathologic said. It wasn't makeup work, but to be honest, I think that it was makeup work because I didn't come to school on Friday. So, yeah, I think that it was makeup work since I didn't come to school Friday. She said it was called learning comprehension. I think she said it's called learning comprehension. That same test that I did with my other teacher. The other teacher, I think that the stuff that I did with my other teacher, that test, I think it was called learning comprehension. Or listening comprehension or something. I think it's listening comprehension. Alright. So, in social studies, I didn't need any reminders, and in listening comprehension, I didn't need any reminders, and, in listening comprehension, I was a serious student, I was respectful, I made good choices, I completed my work, I followed directions, and I did not even need any reminders at all. Yeah, because I remember on Thursday when I did it, I needed a reminder for not being a serious student because I covered my mouth while I was reading to be silly. Yeah, but I probably won't do that again, because if I do something like that again, then I might get a reminder for not being a serious student. But good thing today, in listening comprehension, I was a serious student, and I did not need any reminders. Yeah, I had a good day in listening comprehension. In math, my teacher, Miss Bossert, said that I did not need any reminders in math. No paraprofessional or teacher had to remind me to do anything. I did everything what I was supposed to do without being reminded. Alright, in STEM class, I didn't need any reminders either. I'm proud of myself because in most of my classes, I didn't need any reminders. Yeah, most of my classes today, I did not need any reminders. Now, in STEM class, I got to STEM class, and when I first arrived to STEM class, before I did anything, sometimes when I go to my exploratory class, I'll just go in the room and then pace and then walk around the room. But instead of doing that, before I did anything, I walked in the room for STEM class, and then I read the directions, because the directions were on the board, what we were doing. I did it without being asked. Yeah, so I did what I was supposed to do in STEM class without being asked. So my teacher, Miss Carey, gave me something called pause points. And pause points are good. Pause points is something, there's some points that they give you at Skyline Middle School. Yeah, my teacher Miss Carey gave me pause points for doing what I was supposed to do without being asked. Because sometimes I'll come in STEM class and the first thing I'll do is walk around the room and pace around the room. But instead of doing that, the first thing I came in the classroom. So the first thing I did when I came in the classroom was go up to the smartboard and see what we're gonna be doing today, and I read the directions. So yeah, I did what I was supposed to do. I did what I was supposed to do without being asked by any staff members. So that yeah, I didn't. So I did what I was supposed to do without being asked by a paraprofessional or a teacher. No teacher had to remind me to do anything in STEM class. Because when I first walked in STEM class, before I did anything, I went up to the smartboard and looked for the directions. And I read what we're going to do today. And I read the directions. So yeah, I did what I was supposed to do in STEM class without being asked by a teacher or a paraprofessional. Yeah, I did what I was supposed to do without being asked by a teacher or a paraprofessional. And I'm proud of myself for doing that. I should start doing that every day. When I get to class, I need to read the agenda. I need to read the directions. And I need to do what I'm supposed to do without being asked by a teacher or a paraprofessional. Yeah, a teacher or a paraprofessional shouldn't have to remind or prompt me to do everything. But good thing, in most of my classes today, I didn't need any prompts or reminders from any paraprofessionals or teachers. Yeah, I'm really proud of myself. I had a good day in STEM. Now in ELA, I think that my teacher, Miss Carey, gave me a responsibility, and it was to tell my teacher, Miss Bosser, what happened in STEM class. But instead, I just told my teacher, Miss Bosser, that I won the Book It game. But that's not the only thing that happened. I took notes. I did what I was supposed to do without being asked. I played away ground game. All right, let me start all over. Yeah, me winning the Book It game, that's not the only thing that happened in STEM class. So I should have told Miss Boston everything. So, but then after that, I told her everything. I said, I I I did what I was supposed to do in STEM class without being asked. I played a way round game. I took notes, and I won the Book It game. And yeah, I told Miss Bossard everything that happened in STEM class afterwards. Yeah, I think yeah. And also, in English class, when I pulled out two pieces of candy, Jolly Ranchers, yeah, I won them. I won. I earned those. So there were two pieces of Jolly Ranchers that I earned in STEM class for working hard. Yeah, I earned two Jolly Ranchers in STEM class for winning the Book It game and working hard. And then when I had them in ELA class, I pulled them out and then I put them in my mouth. And then my teacher, Mr. Fortuna, said, "Ah." And then I said, "What was that all about?" And then Mr. Fortuna said, "I was gonna ask you for those Jolly Ranchers before you put them in your mouth." So I said, "Ah." And then I said, "Oh, well, I don't ask you for your food." And then Mr. Fortuna said, "I didn't ask if you asked me for my food." And then I said, "Oh, but it's rude to ask people for their food." And then he said, "Well, how is it rude?" And then I said, "Because I think it's rude. And plus, Miss Carey said to William, my friend William, that it's rude to ask people for their food." She said, my teacher, Miss Carey, said that to my classmate William. And then my teacher, Miss Bosser, said, "Sometimes adults have different rules than kids." Yeah, but to be honest, yeah, maybe Miss Bosser was right. Sometimes adults have different rules than kids. But to be honest, maybe Mr. F was just joking when he said he was gonna ask me for my Jolly Ranchers. But even if he were, but even if he wasn't joking, and even if he was serious, even if he really did want my stuff, I mean, I still could have said no, because if I'm not allowed to if I'm not allowed to share my, if I'm not allowed to share my food with my classmates, or if I'm not allowed to give food to my classmates, then I'm definitely not. If I'm not allowed to share my food with my classmates, and if I'm not allowed to give food to my classmates, then I'm not allowed to share my food with my staff members or give out food to my staff members either. It's the same thing, student and staff members. Yeah, my food is for me, not for anybody else. Yeah, but anyways, I earned the check for ELA. Yeah, and I'm also really proud of myself for doing what I was supposed to do in STEM class, instead of just automatically taking a break. Instead of Yeah, I'm really proud of myself for doing what I was supposed to do without being asked. And I'm proud of myself for doing what I was supposed to do without being asked. Yeah, well, I got to have cash out, but I had to have it alone, because one of my friends didn't earn cash out because he earned the next. Yeah, my classmate named Josh earned the next on his point sheet, so he didn't get to have any cash out, but I did, so I had to have it alone. But I guess it was okay, because I probably could have found another friend. I probably could have found another friend to have cash out with, like my friends Victor or William. I probably could have asked them if I could have free time with them, since my friend Josh couldn't have free time. Since my friend Josh didn't earn free time, maybe I should have asked my friends Victor or William or Victor, if I could have free time with them. Yeah, maybe that's what I could have did, but instead I chose to have free time on my own. But yeah, I had a great day today, and I just want to tell you guys the attendance question in MTSS. And the attendance question was to describe yourself with a word that starts with the same letter as your first name. And I chose authentic. Yeah, maybe I might make a video describing myself with a word that starts with the letter for my first name. Maybe I might do that. Yeah, my day at school was good, Cesar. Yeah, Anthony, I'm proud of you for doing what you were supposed to do without being asked. And I'm proud of you for not getting any reminders today in school. Yeah, I'm really proud of you for doing I'm really, really proud of you, Anthony, for doing what you were supposed to do without being asked by a paraprofessional or a teacher. Yeah, I'm glad that you worked hard today and you didn't need any reminders or prompts from any paraprofessionals or teachers. Yeah, you were being a serious student today. Yeah, I'm proud of myself too. All right, guys, this was day 11 of the interview. All right, guys, I guess I'm going to end the blog. All right, goodbye.